I sold a $6,000 water heater, and it wasn't a ripoff. In fact, the customer hugged me at church a week later and thanked me for taking care of her. If you're a contractor who sees high prices online and thinks, man, someone's ripping people off, this video's for you. Because odds are you are the one undercharging, not them. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through exactly what happened, why she chose the most expensive option, and how giving customers real options lets you sell ethically, confidently, and profitably without feeling slimy. And if you want to stop working for free, stop second guessing your prices, and finally let customers buy based on their values instead of your fears, stay to the end. And if this helps you make more money the right way, subscribe, because this is exactly what we do here. Let's explore this issue. I remember when we first got into flat rate. I got into flat rate because I had to. Actually, other companies were going flat rate. We were time and material. And I was teaching my techs how to do better on their service calls. And I started seeing some real results, like they were actually doing better with their calls. But I couldn't afford to pay them more. And so I started realizing, shoot, I am actually increasing our average invoice, but there's not enough money left at the end of the month to pay them what they're starting to feel they're worth. I don't know if you've ever been there, but I started going, I think we got to figure out how to go flat rate. The flat rate guys are making big money. And there's ads in the paper at the time. Don't age myself, but it's true. And Craigslist. And I'm like, I'm in the competition. As a company owner, as a contractor, our customer is actually the plumber or the tradesperson. So that's a whole nother topic. But actually, I realized that, wow, I got to figure business out, or I'm going to lose my best techs because other people somehow they're able to pay more. And so I started researching flat rate, and luckily I always try to get back to the original. So I found Frank Blau in one of the magazines. He's like considered the grandfather of flat rate in the plumbing world anyway. And I called him up. Did you know you can call the authors in magazines? You can actually get a hold of them. I called the phone number at the end of the article, and he picked up the phone. And he told me to get involved with Nexstar. It was Contractor 2000. He started that group. And then this is soon after 2000s, like 2002, 2003. And they had just turned to Nexstar. So I called him up, and so that's when we started learning about what flat rate is all about. And what I've discovered is I always taught everybody about flat rate. Like, where does the number that we're charging, quoting, come from? Where does it come from? Eventually in my business, I taught everybody, apprentices, techs, even new people answering the phone, went through my 1 hour left behind, not 1 hour left behind, but my one-man shop exercise. There's so many little classes I teach, but my one shop exercise, I teach them where the numbers come from. Because even on the phone, they're the ones handling complaints, right? Once in a while. And it's like, yeah, that does sound expensive. What do they say? They need to understand. So in my opinion, everybody in the company needs to understand where the prices come from. But I digress. So flat rate worked, but it helped us charge the right price. But we started to not want to send our best techs to our family, friends, and fellow churchgoers. Have you ever felt that way? Like our best techs, that bring in all the money, get good reviews, and do really well. When someone that we knew called us, we didn't want to send that tech or those techs. And that really started to eat on us. This is weird. Like, here I am sending this plumber with this skill set to people I don't know comfortably. But if I know someone, I don't want them to go. Don't you dare send so-and-so. to someone I know. And so that really started to eat on us. I didn't know what to do. I'm learning, just like you're learning. Like I'm still learning. And we discovered, so that's what we did. We never, if someone called that we knew, we didn't send our best text. And then we did not like that, but it was just the truth. It just was. That's how it was. But we didn't like it. And so we go in search. I went in search of how to fix that. And the whole story involved, but I finally found options. The idea of giving options, give people options. So I bought into a methodology of offering 5 options from the best I can offer to the least I can offer. And I always figured out, I would always ask enough Explorer questions in the Explorer. Like I would find out enough about the customer until I knew enough to offer several options that they might like. If you don't know the customer, you can say, I can fix it. But do you know if they have lots of company? Do you know if they run out of hot water? Do you know if they leave on vacation a lot? Do you know if they're going to sell the house soon? Do you know if they want to live in the house forever? Like, you got to know enough about them so that you can then come up with options that they might appreciate. I'm not going to try to sell them a furnace when they got a hydronic system. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't make sense. So my options have to make sense at least. So I have to earn the right to quote the option. So we learned this methodology, and there were 3 of us in my company, myself and 2 techs that really bought into this idea of, I don't want to just go out there and rip people off or charge this big high number and get it and not feel good about it. Slimy. I don't want this idea of I can go out to people I don't know, but not to people I do know. So I had 2 techs that bought in to this concept wholeheartedly, and we memorized the script. We dialed that script in. We were tight on the script. So here's the story about the $6,000 water heater. So this is a lady I knew personally. She called me and she says, please come help. There's something wrong with my water heater. My house is flooded. The reason I knew this lady is she'd had a funeral. Her husband had died recently. She was at church. I went to church with her. I saw her 2 or 3 times a week. Her husband had just died. So she was alone. She was in her 70s, or late 60s. Late 60s. She had some family members out of town, like no one was close by anymore. And so she calls me. So I send one of my techs that I knew would use our option program. So I sent him out, and this is what he discovered. He discovered they actually couldn't open the front door. The house, sometime after the funeral, she went to be with her son for several weeks. And sometime in that, what happened was the hot side of the water heater had sprung a leak in the piping. So it had been spraying hot water for probably several weeks. When she came home, she couldn't even open the front door. Like it was swollen shut. Every door in the house was swollen shut. They had to go in through the garage door to get into the house. And literally this house, there were dew drips on all ceilings. Every ceiling in the whole house, upstairs and downstairs, was split level, dew drips hanging everywhere. The floor in the basement was flooding, had water everywhere. Luckily, it had a floor drain, so it was taking care of some of that issue. But it was just just spraying hot water up into out into the air to start with. It was it wasn't a mechanical room, but it was like a downstairs laundry area. But it destroyed the whole house. I'd never seen anything like it. The entire house was severely affected. Even upstairs in the back master bedroom had dew drips everywhere because that hot water was spraying out. So my plumber goes out there, and 30 minutes later, he calls in and says, hey, I'm going to be here a while. I just sold this big number. I say 6,000. I don't think it was 6,000 because this is 15 years ago, but it was my top option. It might have been 3,800. It was a big number back then. It would easily be 6,000 now, probably more. But my top option back then was a high option. She bought it. What he did was he asked her some questions. She found out he did everything. She's died. She's all alone. Her family's far away. Her sons can't come help her. She travels a lot. She doesn't want to ever have this happen again. If something does break, she wants to know who to call. And she bought, I think it was a stainless steel water heater so that it would never, she had a lifetime warranty on that. She bought the flood stop. She bought our partnership program. She bought a lot. Now, in our price, our script, we always said, are you sure I've got other options? I've got these other options. Like one thing, when I sell something expensive, I always want to say, are you sure there are other options? I am not here to sell you the top stuff. If you want it, I'd be glad for you to buy it. I would love to do that. But there is no pressure here. Are you sure I've got other options? She's no, I don't want this ever to happen again. If it happens again, I want to know who to call. I want that lifetime warranty. I'm not here all the time, so I want to be able to turn it down with my phone. I want to be able to turn down I want to be able to monitor it. If there's ever a leak again, I think that it just come out where you can actually tell there was a leak and turn the water off virtually. If this ever happens, I want to be able to turn the water off. Like she bought the whole thing. And I was like, oh, great. Book it. Do you need an apprentice? Spend several hours there. Take your time, do good work. This is my friend. And then the next Wednesday night Bible study, when I saw her, she came up and gave me the biggest hug. Said, thank you so much for sending, I think it was Richard, out. He was so wonderful. He took such good care of me. And the job is beautiful. I've got your number in my phone. He showed me how to use the flood stop, whatever it was at that time, right? And she was just so grateful. And that is when I became convicted about options. It's, wow, we got the top option. I know it wasn't sold to her. It was offered to her because based on what her situation was, she doesn't want to fiddle with this ever again. She can't afford for this to happen again. If there is a leak anywhere, she wants to be able to stop it because she's not home very often. All these things, we gave her options that she might value. And guess what? She valued every one of them. And then I know that my plumber said, are you sure I've got other options? Like she might have been wanting to sell the house. And if she was thinking about selling the house, she might have just bought it, swapped out for a cheap water heater and moved on. Hey, let's get me a water heater. I got enough work cleaning this stuff up. No, she's going to stay there. Obviously, right? So I don't know what she's going to buy. I don't know. And neither do you. But we gave her options from the least we can do just to get her a new water heater in there and get going, all the way up to, hey, there's a stainless steel, there's a flood stop X program now that can actually tell when the water's leaking, so this won't happen. If it does happen, you can stop it. We'll be a service partner, so you can call us and we'll come out. We've documented everything so we know your house. Our plumbers don't move on very often, so most likely someone that's been in your home before will come out again. She bought everything, and she was pleased. So when we hear, let's talk about when we hear other people got a high price for something, and we feel offended a little bit. Oh, they got ripped off. Why is that? First of all, let's talk about that. Just since we're talking about this subject. That is just, there's got to be some law, or maybe we should name it. Maybe we should call it the dentist law. I've noticed that when you are with a group of people big enough, no matter what you say you got and the price you paid, someone will say that you got ripped off. You can buy a cowboy hat and people might say, hey, nice hat. And say, yeah, I just got it. I bought it somewhere for $55. Someone in the room will say, $55? You got ripped off. You can go on Amazon and get that for $25. I got it for $55 and I'm happy with it. But no matter what it is, a car, even the more expensive it is, the bigger the deal. People will always, it's kind of like they're trying to massage their own ego or something by saying you got ripped off. They could have got a better deal. I don't know what that is. Why don't you just say, oh, great, that's nice. It looks good. Why don't we say that? No, someone's always got to pipe up and say you got ripped off. It's like a human, it's a law. What should we name it? What should we name that law? It deserves a name. I'm about to sneeze. Let's see if I can keep it down. So that's one thing. But the other thing is, I think us technicians are lazy in their communication. That could also be what's happening. What I mean by that is, did my tech tell about how they gave all the options? When he tells how he sold a $6,000 water heater, does he say how he gave out all the options and stuff, or does he brag to his buddies that he sold a $6,000 water heater? I think he brags a little bit, and he's lazy, and he says he sold a $6,000 water heater. Did he actually sell a $6,000 water heater? Or did he sell a stainless steel water heater with an automatic flood detection and stop and all the other bells and whistles? And did he actually sell it? Or is that what she wanted and he just took her order? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we beat our chests about what we sold. What are you talking about? Like, it's hardly a sales call. Her water heater's broke and she needs something now. It's leaking all over the place. It's got to be fixed now. It's a slam dunk if you think about it. So us technicians will brag about what they sold for a top price. Now, and not telling the whole story, that actually they gave several options. She chose the best one. He tried to show her that there was cheaper ones, but that's what she wanted, right? And so sometimes when you hear someone bragging about a top thing they sold, first of all, did they actually sell it? Or is that what the customer wanted? Does that make sense? Now, there are ripoffs. There was a deal in my town. Someone sold someone a $17,000 40-foot straight-in water service. In my town, we only dig 2 feet deep. How long does it take to dig a 40-foot long, 2-foot deep trench, put in a water line, get it inspected and backfill? It's a day of work. And that's all it was. Now, that is a ripoff. That is a ripoff. So there are ripoffs, but so many times the high prices that you're hearing might just be, why do we always think it's a ripoff instead of how'd they get that? That's why you say, why don't we be curious and say, hey, how'd you do that? And if you ask Richard, how'd you do that? You say, I asked questions till I discovered all her needs and desires and what she might care for. Then I built a package that she might appreciate all the way down to my very basic, because I dare my guys to charge as little as possible. I dare you to put a number on your sheet that you really don't want to do. Like, I'll get you up and running, but I'd rather do a little bit more. I dare you to put the lowest price you can afford to do, and I dare you to offer everything that you've got available, and then let them choose. That's what I do. And so why don't we ask, how did you do that, and get the story, and then learn from it instead of we declare that they got ripped off, and then somehow you say I'd do it for cheaper. And let's talk about that really quick. You hear this all the time on the line. What's the right price? How do you become a plumber, electrician, tradesperson? Don't you have to be taught by somebody? Are you a licensed tradesperson? Are you teaching somebody? This is a pet peeve of mine. We're saying that the trades are in trouble, but may I dare say that we're causing a lot of the problem because we're not training apprentices. I know so many companies who they say they can't afford to have an apprentice. Where do you think your next tech's going to come from? Do you think some good licensed technician at another company is going to come risk all the security he has there on your little operation that hasn't even proven itself yet? Now, maybe it will, maybe someday, but that's a whole nother subject. But if you don't have an apprentice, you're not charging the right price. Part of being in the trades is training someone, at least one person to be a minimum. So if you're saying other people are charging too much, my question to you is, first of all, let's make our own bed. Are you charging enough? Before we tell everybody else they're charging too much, are you charging enough? And I talk about that a lot. It's scary to figure out how much you're worth. It's a big deal. It's a lot to talk about. So we should probably wrap this up. There's so much we could talk forever. And that's what my videos are all about, is trying to help the plumbers and technicians, electricians, those of you that have taken the jump into business and become your own contractor, your own business. Okay, there's a whole nother world to learn. It's all those books. You might have all the tools and you might be licensed and you might be the best skilled person in the world, but you got to read the books. You got to get that information. That's all business stuff. All business. You got to get that into your head. You got to learn. So one thing I've done is I've noticed so many plumbing companies, especially plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, are struggling. They're not doing it. They're not doing well. And I dare say it's because they're not doing it right. So if you found this helpful, I'd love it if you liked and subscribed, or share it with another contractor that could use this. But I've built in the top of the page, on YouTube, there is a link to it's called Score App. And it's a little test to help you see what you need to work on next. And then no matter what it is, I'll give you some insights from my 25 years of experience on how that works. And then if you want to book a call and maybe even get to work, I would love to work with you and help you have a great year. The trades are the place to be, right? And if the trades are the place to be and you're struggling, then let's figure it out. Like, we just got to figure it out. We're doing something wrong. We got something out of order. We don't understand pricing, something. I would love to help, because the trades are the place to be. Let's make it so and make 2026 a year we can celebrate. All right, see you next time.